Ever hear of Thomas the Tank Engine? If you have been around little kids between the ages of 2 or 7 or so, I'm sure you have. My son adored Thomas so much that he could name every single engine, knew what color they were, and the number they had painted on them. I was glad when I heard that he was coming to visit me over this summer, but I had a ton of work to do, so I bought him a Thomas DVD. The cover looked innocent enough. Thomas was smiling, and little wooden children were waving their arms out of the windows of his coaches. The DVD was called Thomas and the Children. He was so excited to see the DVD that right off the bat, he pleaded with me to pop it into the DVD player. I went to work while he watched it. After a few hours, he came into my office, looking as pale as a sheet. "Daddy," his voice seemed weak. "Are you okay?" I said. I touched his head and noticed that his temperature had gone up. "Why did Thomas kill the children?" My heart sank like a stone, but I soon brushed it off. "I'm sure Thomas didn't kill the children," I reassured him. "Now you need your rest and some medicine." I gently pushed him toward his room. "Come on now." After putting him to bed, I got curious as to what he had seen. I popped in the DVD and began to watch the episode play. There was no main menu like most DVDs. It just went straight to the episode. It seemed normal enough. Thomas was told to take a group of children to the seaside by the instructions at the Topham Hatt. I noticed something odd though. There was no narrator for this episode. The episode then showed Thomas picking up the little wooden children and showed every single one of them climb aboard. Then there was a scene with him zooming down the rails like he always did, and the children were cheering. But then there was trouble. As they say in the show, Bertie the bus was stuck on the railway tracks. This is when the episode got strange. Bertie stared at Thomas in fear, but the little blue engine just smiled and sped up. What was even more disheartening is that he started laughing. The children were crying, and little tears could be seen painted on their faces. Thomas crashed into Bertie, causing pieces of both of them to go flying everywhere. Usually by now, the narrator would say, and luckily no one was hurt. But there is no reassurance for kids. The episode then showed the carnage on the inside of the coaches. Wooden limbs were broken off. What looked like actual blood has been splattered everywhere. Heads have been ripped from their bodies like the wooden dolls. And worse yet, the children still had tears upon their faces. Everything went static. I felt myself boiling over with anger. What sicko would create something that messed up? Then I paused the static. Messages started to appear on the screen. Disturbing messages like kill, obey, multiply, die. I watched the static for over an hour and noticed at least 30 different messages. I threw the accursed thing in the trash after breaking it in half. I would not expose my child any more to that trash. Before going to bed myself, I checked on him. He was happily asleep and snoring, cuddling his teddy. I had nightmares from this. One where the children came into my room, but they were lifelike and almost as tall as a normal child. Their twisted forms grabbed my limbs and pulled me apart while I heard that blasted engine laughing. Now I have woken up, covered in blood. knife in hand, and I'm too afraid to check my son's room.